Welcome to the Waffle podcast, your regular plate of healthy, topical fun, debate and banter for Dave and Ben. Thank you for joining us, even though it's probably just our wives, Norma and Hannah. So shout out to you two, our only listeners.
Hopefully they'll expand those listening numbers over the weeks.
What to the mummy club?
Whatever club, we can take anyone.
To be fair, it's as open podcast as we want it to be, really, isn't we? And we've been trying to discuss this podcast for a while, haven't you, Dave? You are the CEO, aren't you? This is your dream.
I've always wanted to do one, and finally, after many years, I found yourself that wants to join in and participate. So we'll see where it goes.
See, I saw your tweet when you put out that you're looking for someone to do a podcast. It was raining at the time, and I was looking out the window, and I had that song all by myself in my head, and I kind of thought maybe that was just a moment just to act upon and save a soul, really, you know. So, but no, thank you for having me on board, Dave. Thank you, I mean, we've known each other quite a while, haven't we?
Since year 7.
Well, what was that, 96? 96? I was trying to work this out the other day. 96.
I think it's 95, 96, something like that. And then obviously we haven't told people how old we are, so they'll just have to guess how long we've known each other for.
Oh, you don't ask a lady their age, do you? So
no, you don't. It's rude, but it's more than a couple of decades we've known each other. That's for sure. On
that point, and I know because this is the Waffle Calf podcast, so sometimes we do waffle. On that point, right? I remember working with someone who we were at a staff night, and she was going around asking how old she looked to other people, and she came up to me and she goes, "Oh, how old do you think I am?" And I went, 46. And she went, "I can't believe you said that." And I was just like, "What, did I get it right?" She goes, "I'm 46. And I was just like, well, it's spot on then, isn't it? You know, and she gave me the evils the rest of the night. And I just thought, well, if you're going to ask, you know, she was hoping people were going to say she's 18.
Well, this is the thing. She thought she was a bit of a looker, looked good for her age and that type of stuff. And she wanted you to come in and go, "Oh, no, you look about 32, 34. And then she didn't like the harsh reality of the fact she looks 46 and she's 46.
No, she did look 46. Maybe a bit older. So, you know, I was, you know, yeah. Oh no, I think she just had a thing in for me from get go. I don't know. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Dave.
I think pretty much sums it up. I'm a rugby man through and through. Love my rugby. To be fair, I like a lot of sports. I like watching sport. Not so much. I'm not a cricket man. I know you like cricket, but I don't know. Cricket just bores me. Like tech, I work in IT. Have done since my very first job has been IT. So
what did me and Tom get you for your wedding gift? Can you remember?
You mean the stuff you brought out on the on the speech?
Yeah, because I was just wondering if you ever got a chance to fix the keyboard we gave you.
I think I've still got the keyboard, but I didn't ever fix it. No.
Well, you're not great at your job then, are you? You know, working IT and you can't put buttons in a keyboard, to be fair.
That management, delegate it.
Oh, there you go. You're working way up. But you're not going to ask about me then?
Oh, yeah. I thought you'd just go into it. But
well, I know you're CEO, but all right. No, I'm a teacher by trade and cycling blogger by night. Used to live in London, now live in County Down, Northern Ireland, next to the Mawns, which is beautiful. Got a little boy who's a little nutter. It's quite funny. And yeah, I like you. I'm into sport. I'm into quite most of everything. Really, I look at a lot of opportunities and try to grab as much experience as I can, because I think that's what life should be about. And this is an opportunity to do something quite cool. Have a little podcast on the side with yourself. And hopefully everyone will enjoy our first episode. And I think we will probably put a future apology in there if this doesn't work out or people have turned off already. So hopefully Norma and Hannah are still listening as our only audience.
They're gone by now.
Or if Tom is listening to us on one of these 6-hour drives up north just to have a look at some lighting in a leisure centre. So,
do you think this first episode is going to be 6 hours? Can it fill his whole journey?
Well, if he likes us that much, he'll just keep putting us on repeat so he knows it off by heart. So, there you go. And Panda, we have a friend called Panda, don't we? I don't know why I'm looking at the mic thinking, like, the mic is not my mate. I'm looking at the mic thinking I'm speaking to you, but I'm speaking to you online. So, and I've got a Guinness in my hand. That's just, yeah.
Drinking on a school night.
This is the waffle.
It's never going to end well.
But I'll just say we've got a friend called Panda, haven't we?
Don't know what his real name is.
Well, no, like our parents didn't even know who Mark was until we said Panda, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that guy with the dark eyes." Yes.
When I first met him, 3 months. It was 3 months until I knew his real name. Someone said,
"Wow."
Someone said, "Mark's coming out tonight." I went, "Who's Mark?" And they're like, "You know Mark?" And I was like, I don't know a Mark." They're like, "Mark," and I was like, "Oh, sorry, I don't know." And they went, "Panda." I went, "Oh, Panda. Yeah, I know Panda. Is that his real name?" 3 months.
Wow.
There's 3 months of knowing him, didn't know his real name.
Do you know what? Do you know what? I bet he doesn't even know your name.
Huh? Probably not.
And we won't mention what your nickname's been since secondary school either.
No one calls me that anymore. His is stuck. Mine's gone.
Well, I still have you under that on my WhatsApp and everything as well. So, and I still call you that.
Less said about that, the better.
Right, I won't mention it. I'll see. We'll see. We'll see if anyone can guess what it is by giving hints, maybe through the podcast. But so, come on, Dave, tell us what this podcast is about. What we're doing here.
We want to do this podcast just to spread stuff that we're interested in, and we've come up with sort of 10 topics where we're going to try to keep the topics the same each week, or maybe swap one or two of them out, rotating basis. So pretty much you know what you're going to get every week. And
we both have agreed to bring our own stuff to the table on each topic, haven't we? And we're going to debate and argue, and maybe argue a little bit and recommend. And it's really just a sort of a nice, healthy refresh, reset. And a lot of the things that we recommend might be old, might be new, might be some from our back in the days of, I mean, we're both 80s babies. We're probably just giving away our age now. Yeah. But then, yeah, some stuff might be quite new as well. I know you're quite into your tech and stuff. I quite like my music and that as well. So people might pick up a little tip here and there. And if not, no worries.
Also, I think it's good to say as well that we don't know what the other one's picked. So for each subject, so this is fresh. We're keeping it. Each of us don't know what the other one's going to say. So it's completely unscripted fun. Yes.
Definitely, and I think that's quite nice to have actually as an approach to each topic. Just keeps it secret, if you like.
Yes.
So, should we crack on with our first topic?
I think we launch straight into it. Let's
go.
All
right. So, topic one is called "We All Have Good Vibes."
Beautiful voice.
Okay, yeah. I thought we were going to sing the intro in. Okay. So this topic is all about just a good news story, a little bit like Russell Howard. Russell Howard's good news story of the week. And we called it Good Vibes. We will have good vibes. Would you like to share yours first, Dave?
I'll go for it. So,
good news of the week.
This is good news. I think this is really good news. And it's kind of like it's got a double. I've only actually saw the secondary bit today. So I was on LinkedIn, and this guy basically put out a message on LinkedIn and said his son likes doing lathe work, like woodwork on a lathe to make stuff. And he started an Instagram account to share what he makes. I think he's 14. He's 12 or 14 years old. And then basically the kids at school found his Instagram page and took the mick out of him and were bullying him because he only had 6 followers. So the dad basically put this message on LinkedIn and said, to get rid of the bullies, can some of you follow him? So I saw this, and like there was, I think at the time there was about 1,000 comments going, yeah, we'll follow, we'll follow. So I was like, do you know what? Let me have a quick look on Instagram, see how many accounts, how many followers he's got. He had 44,000 followers. He had 44,000 followers. So he's gone from 6 to 44,000.
Wow.
And I've actually I've got the page open, his Instagram page open now. And he's now got, so he's gone from 6, he's got 226,000 followers.
Can I guess his name?
Yeah.
Is it called Gabriel?
Yes.
And is his page called Clarky Woodwork?
Clarky_Woodwork. So
shout
out.
Yeah. Is that why? So that's not just my good vibe of the week either, is it?
Oh, you picked on the same one.
Yeah.
How funny is that? Because then see, this is how we know it's unscripted. But then, so that's the first bit. But the second bit, which I only saw today, was that he decided to do a fundraising for Save the Children in Ukraine.
Yeah.
And his target, he wanted to raise £5,000. Again, I've got the page open now.
Can I guess?
Go on, guess it.
Is it somewhere a region of £63,000 he's raised?
Yes.
Okay. I wonder why I knew that.
He's absolutely, but I mean, how good's that? He's gone from having 6 followers to it just shows like the power of the power of social media. His dad put out one LinkedIn thing and it just got traction, and now he's not just gone, okay, I've got loads of followers. He's now actually done something good with it for Ukraine, and obviously we know, everyone knows what's happening over there. So his target he's hit gone above his target by 1,266%. Wow. And how incredible is that? And it just goes to show that those bullies, how naive and stupid that they were for doing that, for someone that was just wanting to share what they were making at home, and that he wasn't hurting anyone. But so I think that's my good news story, and obviously you've picked up on that as well and seen that in the week.
Well, would you like a little bit more extra info on your story?
Oh, you got more? Okay, yeah, of course.
So I came across this story because I run a cycling blog on the side. I've done quite a few years, notindependent.com, if you want to have a look. There you go, little plug. But so I'm on Twitter quite a lot, and the dad, now hopefully I remember this correctly. So the dad had tweeted, so obviously the son was quite into woodwork, very, very, very well skilled, and he wanted to raise money to buy a bike. So he was offering his services to anyone who'd like something made out of wood to put submissions in to then raise money to buy a new bike. And the site, and basically the cycling community completely retweeted it. Do I have it up? Actually, I do have. Yeah, the dad's called Richard R. Clark. Let me see if I can quickly go into his thing. Right. So yeah, just to confirm, this is the tweet, 25th of March. So that was last week. His dad had put in, he said, he's looking for a wee favour. 12-year-old who loves woodwork, spends hours making bowls, creating chopping boards, which he sells to save up for a mountain bike. So he did it to obviously get himself a bike. And I remember reading something, he had like 20,000 commissions. Mm-hmm. 20,000 commissions the other day, and he was just literally overwhelmed. And obviously he's not going to get through them all, bless him. He's probably, he could set up a business, isn't he? So
he could leave school.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. So
buy a lot of bikes. He can buy a lot of bikes now.
Oh, definitely. And if he wants to reach out to me, I'm happy to test them out. But yeah, no, fair play. No. I mean, I had another good vibe of the week, but everyone kind of knows about it already, really, of the story of Max Woozy. He's also 12, and he's been spending a night outside in his garden camping.
Is he still doing that?
Yes. 2 years on, from the 29th of March, it was 2 years on, and it all stemmed from a tent that was given to him by his friend who passed away I think it's an older person, but promised adventures with it, and he's raised £600,000 so far, and he's been outside in all weather, and like that's crazy. And to be fair, we'll do a little dig at our friend Tom, who did try to camp out with his son Theo, and that didn't really go the way it did it, Tom? No, it didn't.
Dun, dun, dun.
No, I'm joking. No. I mean, yeah, I think that's completely different camping outside of a toddler to a 12-year-old choosing to camp outside. But
for 2 years, I didn't realise, because obviously when that's been on the news, and obviously he's done a lot, but he's still doing, because obviously once that kind of thing happens, the news like loses traction. So if he's still doing it 2 years on, that's incredible. 600,000,
and that's two 12-year-olds, man. So it just shows, like maybe like children take a bit of a knock in the media sometimes, and it just shows good vibes, good people. And they've got a really good moral compass. So fair play to them. So that's our good vibes of the week. That's a good start. Having the same story.
But then we go from good. We go straight on to our second topic, which is gripe of the week.
Wow.
So I think as gripe of the week, listeners, what you will get to know is Ben is a bit old, baby, bit moany, bit Victor Meldrew before his time. So I think he should go first on this one for sure.
I think that's a bit harsh. Oh. Yeah, okay. No, I only moan at things that piss me off. That's fair enough, isn't it?
True, but I think sometimes maybe more stuff pisses you off than the general person.
You do realise this is going to be my only and last appearance on your podcast. If you start
our podcast, so no one's going to listen to me by myself.
Well, you're CEO, so you can hire and fire.
Okay.
Like Lord Sugar. No, gripe of the week. But to be fair, like my gripe of the week, I think everyone can kind of relate to, and it's about charging. Like literally, where is our minutes and hours in the day going when all we're doing is charge? I mean, right now I'm charging my laptop. I'm charging my phone because the battery cycle on the iPhone has now diminished and I have to keep on charge. I'm charging my headphones as well. Like the amount of things we have to charge every day just to allow just to get through the day. I mean, the other things I listed out was, so I have my battery pack, so I take that around so I can charge it up. But I have to charge that up. Charge your toothbrush, charge your baby monitor. My PS4 controller, got to keep that charged. Like if you've got a Fitbit, bike computer, so my Hammerhead or my Wahoo, I've got to charge that up. Like it's just constant charging. And like 10, 15 years ago, I know obviously we live in a tech world, but 10, 15 years ago, surely we didn't charge as much as we are now. And no wonder our electricity bills are going through the roof when they think we have to keep charging. It's just unreal. But I know I spoke to you the other day about the theory that, and you said they came out of it, that Apple admitted about having like battery lives. So then it times with, so like when your contract runs out, then you're due a phone. So then, because then your battery life is kind of diminished, you have to go out and get yourself a new phone. So it just keeps you buying and buying. And I just find it's just a big annoyance, really. So that's my gripe.
Well, yeah, because it's like they say nowadays that stuff isn't built to last, because they don't want, if they built, say, like a washing machine that lasted for 50 years, they're not going to get any more revenue for another 50 years for returning customers. So stuff isn't built to last because they want to sell another product again and again and again. You saying that, I do actually, I remember my boss saying he bought one of those lawnmowers that is battery powered. And he said it doesn't actually have enough charge to do his front and back garden in one charge. So I think he can do the back and half of the front, and then he needs to charge it before he can do the rest of the front. So it's one of those, I think in that instance, for me, I'd rather have a wire. So would you rather have, so like your like you said, your PlayStation controller, would you rather have it wired, or so you had to sit closer, or are you happy to charge it so you can be wire free Because that's the way up for you. So you don't like charging everything. Would you rather live by the wire then and be more constrained to? Because obviously, when you charge something, that means you're wire free and you can roam.
Yeah.
So what's the way up there for you?
So, and you kind of touched on a bit of a topic that we're going to do later as well, which we won't mention. Like, would you rather cordless or not cordless? No, right. Okay. Okay. If you go on the PS4 example, it's handy. I mean, you can sit anywhere in your living room. You can sit way back from the TV, have a great spot. So in that case, I'd probably go cordless, wireless. When it comes to headphones on phones, I don't think that for me, I don't think it makes a big difference as long as the wire doesn't get sort of like caught up in your clothes and stuff. I think if you're active, I think it's quite good. But then obviously you have the battery life. But that's why I have my battery pack on me all the time, because I got caught out before Christmas. My car broke down and I was in the middle of nowhere, and the battery in my phone died because of the cold.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's a common thing. And short story, we're in the middle of nowhere. Luckily, a couple in a house were just about to leave. They allowed me to charge my phone up to have enough battery to ring for a tow truck to come. But so I have my battery pack everywhere now to keep my phone on charge. But that means I need to charge up my battery pack every few days. And then obviously that eats electricity and stuff. So where's it end? Do you know what I mean? Like, where's it end?
So, it is the modern world, though. It is the modern world.
Yeah. I just think maybe they probably could have better batteries. Surely, and obviously there might be a bit more money, but surely it's in their favor to have a bit more batteries, and we can reduce the amount of electricity we're using, and also the amount of, like you said, if we have to keep rebuying stuff because the new models of the batteries been gone out, and because we can't replace the batteries. To be fair, I could take my phone into one of like the mobile phone shops, and they'll change the battery over and they'll give me a bit more life. But surely, as a brand, I know you said it won't make business sense. I know it's just annoying, and that's my gripe. Anyway, over to you. Otherwise, I could be here for quite a while.
Right. So my gripe for the week is, so we touched on obviously a good news story of how social media should be used. My gripe of the week is the things that people ask on Facebook.
Oh, so I had to say that word.
I did, because I need to get my point across here. So there's obviously, obviously in the areas that you normally live, there's like people have Facebook groups they set up for the areas where you live to ask like questions or be neighbourly and this kind of stuff. There's people on my local groups, there's a One Stop. So One Stop, for people that don't know, it's like a little convenience store. I think they're owned by Tesco's actually, but they're like a little version of a supermarket, a little convenience store. And R1 has a post office. And people constantly are asking, because to be fair, the One Stop locally to me, the post office has always got a problem. It's always shut or open or whatever. But people are constantly asking other people on Facebook, is the post office and the One Stop open? How am I going to know if the post office is open in the One Stop? I don't work there. If I haven't been in there today, how am I going to? Here's an idea. Call the One Stop and ask them.
No one likes to do that anymore, do they, though, Dave? No one likes to call shops, do they?
This is the thing. So social media for me sometimes is taking away people's common sense. So another one, so I saw this in the week and I was like, I need to add this to it. So a lady was asking on our local group, because I live in a new build, so all the houses are the same. So obviously if you've got a problem with something, then the other houses around us will have the same thing. You might have come across the problem. A lady was asking, because we're coming into the warmer climates and the weather, she asked what setting should she put the heating on, because obviously the cost of electricity and gas has gone up. So she's sure someone's done the maths. She said that she was going to set it to 15 degrees. What is other people doing? She's going to she was asking people how, like, we don't know whether she feels hot or cold or whatever, but then she was it's the summer. She's going to set thermostat to 15 in the summer. You don't even have to have it on.
No.
Why would you even have it on?
No, you're heating your house basically, aren't you? Yeah. Why you don't heat your house in the summer because it gets roasting very quickly inside, doesn't it?
Oh, it's yeah. But that's how people. That for me is the wrong way to use social media, and it just annoys me every time I see a post about is the post office open in the one stop. I think I die a little inside.
Do you think that's exclusive to Facebook, or have you seen that across other social media platforms?
No. I think that type of thing possibly is a bit more exclusive to Facebook because of the groups and stuff. You wouldn't generally, like on Twitter and maybe Instagram and that kind of stuff, you wouldn't ask that kind of thing. There's more of a, for me, maybe I think I personally use my social media accounts differently for different things.
Yeah.
So maybe I think, for Facebook, I only use that for like very close friends and sort of keeping in touch with sort of what is happening in my local community, whether sort of Twitter and Instagram is more sort of I have open and talk about other things and more kind of interest and stuff. So maybe those Twitter and Instagram is used like that, but I don't see it or use it in that way. But for me, Facebook, and I think Facebook is maybe for like an older generation, even like older than us type thing.
Why are you whispering into the microphone there, Dave?
Just so I don't offend maybe some older listeners that use it like this.
What, like my mum?
How does your mum? So what didn't you? Am I right in saying that once you came off Facebook because you didn't want to see your mum's posts anymore?
I don't think it's just my mum's. I think there was a point where you're on Facebook and it was everyone's dinner, and it was just like, okay, this is not the platform for me. I don't care. There's no offense to my mum at all. Please, all right. You put me in a bit of a trap here, though.
Depends if she's listening.
But no. It's like you're right. It's I came off Facebook. I am on Facebook, but that was only just because my role being here as a teacher in Northern Ireland, as a group, you kind of have to join for subs, like it's in like cover. So you have to do it because that's just what it's like. I was like, oh. And the marketplace can be not too bad actually. You could pick up a bargain here and there if you know what you're looking for. Apart from that, I do not post at all. I've got no. I don't want nothing to do with it. Twitter's my area I go to, but even then, but I've learned to block and just get rid of my just to clean out my timeline, just so it's things I actually can sort of not trust, but I want to know about and read about and stuff. And Instagram it's just, to be fair, it's just full of poses, isn't it? It's just full of like selfies and stuff. No, Instagram, it's quite I mean, obviously it's an image platform and it is literally just cleanliness, isn't it? You know, it's not reality. So it's a bit of a hard one to buy into. I do like Instagram reels, to be fair, on there. We've got slightly going off the topic here, but that's what the Waffle Calf podcast is all about, isn't it?
All about.
You know what I mean? Just linking around. But I'm with you, Dave. You can't teach stupid, can you?
You can't. I can't. That's what I said. It is taking away people's common sense, unfortunately. So yeah. But
like you said though, like, you know, why don't you ring the shop? No one rings places anymore. Everything, like you said, everyone wants to know everything online. Okay, example, like I had a work meet up today, and we were supposed to meet up at this place called The Shed, and not one of us checked to see if it was open. And we all turned up. I was the first one to turn up, and I turned into like the drive. It was like down a country lane, turned the drive, and the gate was shut. And I was like, oh dear. And then my manager turned up, and her face just dropped. And she was like, yeah, it's closed. And then my other colleagues turned up, who came all the way from Belfast. So we were like in the middle of nowhere going, well, what do we do? Not one of us checked. And we could have rang or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I think we kind of got into the point of just expected. And I think that's what maybe social media and the internet does. It just gives you a level of expectation that the information's there and you're expected to have it on the plate rather than actually just go and find out for yourself, really, isn't it? So
yeah, definitely.
there you go. Right, our next topic. Our next topic is called Tuneage of the Week. We both agreed that it could be an album, a song, and it could be old or it could be new. So, and I kind of like this topic because, like, Spotify, and I'm on Spotify big time, and the catalog's so big. And whether you think about Spotify, whether like the amount of money they pay to the artist, but like the catalog is huge, so you can find so much on there. And I've been, maybe there's another gripe of the week, but I've been annoyed with music lately that every song on the radio is literally a remake of something else. There's no original, so it's quite nice to give our recommendations of albums and songs that you might not have heard, or you might have gone, oh, I remember that. Let's smack it on the 6x9s and the amp in our Vauxhall Nova. Actually, no, that's probably way back in the day, isn't it? So,
again, showing your age, no one's
going to know
what Vauxhall Nova is.
On a side note, I know, again, this is Waffle. On a side note, I saw a Vauxhall Nova on Facebook Marketplace. Oh, I saw a Vauxhall Nova, all not kitted out, just a normal Vauxhall Nova, like quite low mileage, like 60, 80,000, I think it was.
That's good.
And it was like $3.5 grand. $3.5 grand for a Nova. I don't remember. We remember when it was like a few £100 for like you just pick up a cheap Nova, like so.
That'd be a classic car now.
Yeah, classic car. Anyway, back to Tuneage of the Week. Kind of Dave, hit us. What is your Tuneage of the Week that you're going to recommend?
So this is, I don't even probably know if you know this or not, but this is my all-time favourite song. Whatever mood I am in, it doesn't matter how bad a mood, upset or whatever, this tune will always put me in a good mood.
Can I guess it?
You by all means have a guess.
Is it C'est La Vie by Bewitched?
It's close, but it's not right.
Okay.
It's not right. It's Skepta featuring JME, That's Not Me. From 2014, a grime tune. I love it. I have always loved it.
Do you know what? Because obviously recommendations, I'm going to type that down. I'm going to write that down. What is it? Skepta by?
It's Skepta featuring JME.
No, I know JME. I know both of them.
Yeah, That's Not Me.
I think
That's Not Me.
I know that one.
Oh, it will put me. I don't know what it is. I just love it. I absolutely love it. It always puts me in a good mood. The video looks like, even though it's, 2014 doesn't sound that long ago. It doesn't sound that long ago to me. No. But the video is like, wow, what was that like filmed on? But it's, I don't know what it does, but it's just, for me, it doesn't sound like, it's not like, it shouldn't be like a feel good vibe song, but it's just, it's in my brain, I'm just like, that's it. I love it. Absolutely love it. Is
it a summer track or is it a track that you run out to your rugby games on?
Oh, do you know what? I love it so much. I think I could literally use it for anything. I know what you mean. There are some tracks where you like feeling a bit down that will just like calm you, or like get you a rugby game. You need something to like pump you up to get you like ready to like go and smash someone. But this is the thing, it doesn't matter what type of mood I am in, that song just does it for me every single time.
I don't know if I've heard it. I mean, I've listened to a few JME tracks. I'm not a big fan of Skepta personally, but I'll stick that on after we've recorded. I'll stick that on. And
I think you probably would have heard it, because obviously it's been around for a while, and I know obviously, like you just said in the intro to this thing, that you are a big music person. You listen to probably way more music than I do, so you probably have heard it.
Yeah. I'm not a massive fan of grime. There's only a few things that I remember we both went to see Lethal Bizzle at Essex Uni, and to be fair, like I can't remember his set list or his gig. I just remember everyone going pow,
Lethal Bizzle, and that's the thing. That pal is like how everyone kind of knows him.
Yeah, no, I remember that. I'm not a massive grime fan, but okay, all right, okay, I'll put on my my little track playlist.
And then go on, hit me with yours then.
Well, my album is my album. My album recommendation is quite recent. Okay. By a band called White Lies. You must have heard of White Lies. No.
No, I'm afraid. So this is the thing. I think this
indie band. They are so underrated. They've got a new album out called "As I Try Not to Fall Apart." I am gutted that I have not seen them live. I did have tickets to go see them last year, and what
happened?
I don't know if I was ill or tired. I wasn't in the mood. I don't know why. I was an idiot. I should have gone because I haven't seen them. And Norma's seen them. My wife has seen them as a warm up. I hate it for that because I think they are brilliant. They are such an underrated band. All their album, I just spent a week of listening to all their discography. Is that the right word? Discography.
How many albums have they done then?
Oh, mate, this is not Mastermind.
No, just rough. No, I'm just saying roughly. So it's sort of like because you're saying they've got a new album and
I say 6 or 7.
Okay, so they have been around for a while then.
They're not like new. Have a look. I mean, if you like a bit of indie music, it's a bit. They're influenced more by a lot of 80s synth, a lot of 80s indie. So if you're into like Tears for Fears and The Cure and stuff like that, they're very good for that. But they're brilliant. Like their live performances are as good as their studio albums. And I've been playing a lot their album on repeat. Like my top tracks for the tracks are "I Don't Want to Go to Mars" and the album name "As I Try Not to Fall Apart." I love it. I listen to it a lot, to be fair. And it was a toss up between them and Feeder's album as my Tuneage of the week. But yeah, White Lies probably just picks it for me. So you listen to the album, which will take you maybe an hour, and I'll listen to your track, which will take me 3 minutes.
Yep.
And then we'll come back next week and we'll see if we've agreed on each other's tunage.
I'll tell you what. After this as well, what it could be is that we're going to see these tracks go up in the Spotify listings because everyone that's going to be listening is going to go on there and be pumping them up to number one.
And you want your cut, didn't you, Dave?
Oh, always want my cut.
You want your cut. There you go. Well, Spotify doesn't really give artists much of a cut. I doubt we're really going to see anything after a little plug like that. So
true.
Our next topic is footage of the week. Again, similar to Tuneage, it could be TV, film, old or new. Again, showing our age or showing that we are still in the trend. We're still hitting the trend. I'm still trying to complete Netflix. It's annoying they keep adding new stuff, so I can't keep completing every week. Shall I go first this time?
Yeah, you go for it.
Right. Well, I've gone old school.
Oh, mine's old school as well. But go on. I swear, we'll pick the same thing again.
Oh, please not. I've gone old school. Okay. Well, let's do this. I've gone old school. You've gone old school. What platform can you find yours on?
I think it might be on Netflix and Prime.
Okay. Well, mine's on.
I can't remember because it's been a while since I've watched it.
Right. Well, mine's on Disney.
Oh, okay, mine's not going to be.
And it's exclusively on Disney.
I don't think mine's going to be on Disney.
Mine is a sci-fi horror. What is yours?
Like gripping crime.
Okay, that narrows it down. Right, mine was made in 1979. That's how old it is.
1979. And what was the genre?
Sci-fi horror. 1975 sci-fi horror.
Is it 2 letters?
No. It's not it.
No, 2 other letters. E.T. I thought it was going to be E.T. because that's
no, that's 80s. That was 80s.
Okay.
Yeah, that was 80s. I think that's even 84.
1979.
Sci-fi horror, 1979. Do you mean the director Ridley Scott?
I know the director. Obviously, he's very, very well known, very famous.
And this was like one of his first like big, and it's timeless. It's classic. And I watched it the other day. Actually, I watched the series. That's another clue, Dave. I watched the series.
Oh, there's people listening to this now screaming, saying, "I'm an idiot. How can I not get guess this.
Well, my wife will be screaming this because she knew that I was watching this. But yeah,
yeah. Well, probably she's sitting next to you while you were watching it. A series from 1979. Oh no, I'm going to
well,
need
the
help.
first film was made in 1979. Then it had loads of sequels after. Then, to give you another clue, Dave, it then had a sort of a multiverse with another film. It sort of collaborated with another film franchise.
It's not like a superhero one, is it?
No, sci-fi horror.
Sci-fi horror.
You're going to kick yourself actually because it's quite easy to get. Should I just put you out? Should I just put
I think you're going to have to because I think people at home are probably going to top themselves. Or
my footage of the week, my film of the week is Alien.
So simple.
Mate,
so simple.
I've never watched it all the way through until the other week. I've only watched like clips of it, and I watched it all the way through, and it is probably one of the most freakiest, scariest films you'll be able to you watch because the whole film is just black, like it's so dark. It's like every scene is just black, and every build up to every jump point is so slow and atmospheric. It sucks you in, and it's you are like watch it with the lights off and it will freak you the hell out. It really is. It's not jumpy as you think it is, but it's the atmosphere and the lack of music on it. So everything is just dead silence.
Amplified?
Yes. Seriously, yeah. Like the jump, like the scary bits are amplified. And it's not as gory as you think it is. There is a famous gory scene. And the sequels after, they get you a bit gory. But for those who haven't seen Alien and wasn't born in a time when we weren't born, but it's way more horror than sci-fi, but it's 43 years old, and if it was released today it'd still look very well done. So my recommendation is Alien. Go watch it. It'll freak you the hell out.
It's a good recommendation because I remember watching it, and it's those type of films always give me like a nervous laugh, like when the alien comes out of the stomach.
Why have you got to then spoil that for people who haven't seen?
Oh dear, no spoilers. Well, I'm just.
Okay, you might as well just crack on now and just tell them that they all die at the end. So
I hadn't thought of that. We won't maybe not do a spoiler for mine, but it's just I just wanted to say because when it does, it makes me laugh when that happens.
Wow,
it's just so weird.
To take you to a cinema to see a scary movie, everyone's going, oh, and you're going.
It's like a nervous laugh though. It's just
like the Joker.
Because it's pretty much. Yeah, maybe I'm a bit like the Joker.
Oh dear, mate. Right, what's
I try not to do any spoilers for my one. So,
wonder if I guess it. Go on.
Okay, so I'm taking it back to 2008.
Okay, it's not too far back.
2008. It ran from 2008 to 2013.
Is this a TV series?
Yes.
Right.
It ran for 5 seasons.
Okay.
With a total of 62 episodes.
Can I guess it?
Go for it.
No, it weren't Prison Break. No, it weren't Prison Break. Prison Break, no, because I remember watching Prison Break in America in 2005. No, I need a bit more detail.
There's some quite illegal activities that happen.
Carry on.
The main character is very ill.
Breaking Bad. Oh, I was going to have that as my recommendation. Yes.
Breaking Bad. So I'll give a little overview. So it's the story of Walter White, played by Bryan Cranston, who's an underpaid, overqualified high school chemistry teacher who's struggling with a recent diagnosis of stage 3 lung cancer. Walter turns to a life of crime, partnering with his former student Jesse Pinkman, who's played by Aaron Paul. And they partner by producing and distributing crystal meth to secure, and he's trying to secure his family's financial future before Walter dies. While navigating the criminal underworld. So he literally goes from chemistry teacher to big time drug dealer, and yeah, it's one of the best things I've ever seen.
I confess, I started watching that years and years ago, and I got through halfway through maybe the second season, and I turned it off. I didn't get it. I
think a lot of people do that when these. It's not the only thing I've heard that people say that when they do these long seasons. I think sometimes, like Hannah, my wife, she watches stuff and she's like, "There's nothing happening. It's like you have to kind of go through a stage sometimes because they've got to kind of build a bit of a backstory. So some people get a bit bored, but you've got to press on through. And I think for me, Breaking Bad was good. 1 and 2, seasons 1 and 2, 3 it dipped, but then 4 and 5 picked back up. So I've seen the whole thing, and it's well worth seeing it through to the end.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I have gone through the whole series.
Oh, you finished? You did finish it?
Yeah, I finished it. I've done it twice.
Oh, okay.
So it just shows it's worth if you don't like it first time around, go back with a refresh start. For me, the characters are just brilliant. They are flawless. I think I love Aaron Paul. I think he's great in that. And they're sort of like love-hate relationship. And again, we won't do any spoilers because then what's the point of watching it? But on the side note, do you watch Better Call Saul?
I started. Yeah, the lawyer. We can say he's a lawyer.
Yeah, we won't try and drop it. But I think that's brilliant as well.
No, I never got into that. I think I've maybe only watched the first 2 or 3 episodes because I think sometimes maybe I need to, obviously, if we're saying it's just as good, I need to watch it. But sometimes a spin-off isn't always, and you see the character play to Saul is a lawyer for da-da-da. I think seeing him in another life with other clients.
Oh, it's good. I mean, I'm up to date, and the new series is coming out, the final series, which will link into, because it's a prequel, so you kind of know what's going to happen to the lawyer, but the characters around, not so much. It's worth it, man. It's good. It's I think the character's name's Jimmy. I think it's great. Yeah, and I think if it proves that I gave it a second go and then have completed the season, all the seasons twice. It's worth it. Yeah, great shout, man. That's a great shout. Yeah, it's brilliant. Next topic.
Right, the next one is Back It Bring. So this is obviously
Back It Bring. Who came up with that?
I don't know. Need the head looking at. So it's Bring It Back. So bring it back, but what
backwards is Back It Bring.
Yeah, read it backwards. So what would you bring back from the past to today?
God, this could. Do you know? I don't think we actually put the rules down for this one. So this, like, bring back from the past. This could be
anything,
thousands of years ago, or it could be like last week. So it could be anything that's just in the past. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Do you want to throw your throwback in then?
Mine is, so we touched on, we both like our sport from at the start. Mine is Formula One related. Bring back it bring the V10 engine. The V10 engine. So the V10 engines are no more, as we know. So the modern day ones are V6 with the hybrid and the turbo. And the V10s ran from 2000, 2005. And I get what they're trying to do, making it a bit more greener, more economical and all that. But for me, it just doesn't, Formula One was all about that noise, that engine note from the V10. You just can't beat it. So the racing is still good. The racing is the same. But that noise you can't beat from a nice V10 engine. And I know it will never come back, but that is what I would bring back.
So if you were head of F1 right now, you would scrap the rules and go, right, everyone, remodel your engines. We're going back to the dark ages. We're going to go and bring back that ferocious V10. Because you took me to the Silverstone F1, and I remember, and it was a little bit of criticism at the time, because were they V6s at the time?
No, we weren't.
Were they V8s? They weren't V10s.
Yeah, it was after 2005. So I think, yeah, they did go from V10 to V8 and to V6.
Yeah.
So they were probably in V8 at the time.
And I remember we got there as there was a warm-up race. It was the Porsche GT1 Cup or something, and they were loud.
Mm-hmm.
And then the F1 started, and I remember it felt like someone had turned down the volume a little bit. And there's a famous Insta reel of Lewis Hamilton being interviewed, and there's one of the old Renaults that Alonso won, and it zooms in the background and you can hear like the roar, and Hamilton turns around and goes, "Oh, I love that noise." So it is a very ominous noise to associate with F1s. Yeah. I don't think we'll come back though, Dave. Do you?
It won't. It's not going to, because obviously look at the way like the modern day car is going to electric. I mean, I would love a Tesla. There's these electrics. There's an electric Audi. I can't remember the model number. I would love one of those. But for a true petrol head, even though I'd like an electric car, you can't beat, for me, floor in a car and the exhaust note on something. I get the electric is the way to go. In the future, I think I'd like to have an electric car as a daily, and then maybe in the garage a nice car with a fruity car with a nice exhaust note to use as a weekend toy. And I think that's probably the majority of what petrol heads in the future will look like. They have their normal daily electric and their toy in the garage.
You sound a bit cut up about this, Dave.
I do. I think like a Tesla, I think they're amazing and they're good for what they do. I think we're still a bit away from like the ranges and that type of stuff. But I think if you're doing like a commute to and from work, like that's sort of 20, 30 miles, I mean, they can do 200 miles. So if you're just pooting around town and you don't live far from work, I think an electric car makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And they do say that F1 leads the way for the modern world, really. A lot of the technology and stuff gets tested there and then put out into the big production cars, don't they?
Well, that's it, because obviously all the manufacturers are in F1, so they spend all this money on development, and then they go, "Oh no, that works really well. We can use some of that, get some of that development cost back by putting it on our road car."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like a dream that will be shattered even before it's born, mate. So, put that on.
What you got?
My back it bring is something that I grew up in my childhood watching, and I absolutely love this cartoon. And they did bring it back. I researched about this. They did bring it back for a couple of series. It didn't stick, and I've always questioned why they have not done a movie. But I say, back it bring a Thundercats movie. Thundercats, seriously, like they brought back Transformers, and we went to see that first time. I think I went to see that with you and Tom. I swear we did in Kingston.
Possibly.
I've got memory of an elephant, mate. So you were there, and I was blown away in the cinema. Just because it was fun, it was Transformers. It was just throwback to like growing up with Transformers. But then you watch it again and it's rubbish because you can't work out what the hell's going on. But Thundercats, they were so good. They were so good. I've even written down a list of all the characters. Wonder if you remember them. Do you remember any of the Thundercats?
Was there
Cheetara?
That's the one. Cheetara. Oh God. Put me on the spot. I should have revised for this. I didn't know it was going to be a test.
Yeah. No, I only remembered a couple. I remember Lion-O.
Yeah.
And Cheetara.
Yeah.
Now the others was Jagger. So you had Jagger, Lion-O, Panthro. Now I think it's Tigra or Tigra. I can't remember. Cheetara, Willy Kit, and Willy Cat. And there was so many. If you go on Wikipedia, there is absolute hundreds of these characters that have come up. But do you remember the Cat's Lair?
Yeah, I think I had
cat in the cat. Like it's like a big cave.
Do you remember the kids' toys? I think I had the sword as a kid.
Did you? No way.
It had the sword, and then you press the button. I think it lit up in the middle.
Oh,
I think I had that as I'm pretty sure I had that as a kid. Or I went to someone's house that definitely had it. I've definitely played with it.
You it was one of those cartoons and toys that you made friends with someone who has it. And if someone's got a birthday in a class, you make friends quickly with that kid.
Yeah.
An invite, go play, and then when the trend goes out, then obviously you just ditch them at school. Don't do that. That's quite cruel, to be fair. But no, seriously, like make a decent Thundercats movie. Someone do it proper, please. Like it will just. I'll go watch it. I mean, they'll make a ticket out of me, but Thundercats, man.
It is a good thing though, like you said, because now I've got kids as well. That everything, like when you put on the TV for them, like they've remastered and remade everything. Like there's
don't get me started on Thomas the Tank Engine.
Like but stuff like that, just in general, like Thomas Tank Engine, Peter Rabbit, it's all been like remastered. It looks like nothing. It doesn't look anything like what we remember it as a kid, and it does bring it into this day and age, and it does look like modern for kids today. But where is it? Where's their remake?
So that's the thing, is that if it was to be done properly, I would want a seat on the board as an advisor, because like you said, with like Thomas the Tank Engine, we grew up with that being like a puppet clay model. It wasn't clay model, but it was real. It was a stop animation kind of thing, wasn't it? It was real. Obviously, we're not real talking trains, but it just felt so much more authentic. And now it is literally just CGI. And Thomas has an American accent. Why? Why does he have an American accent? Why? I don't. Why?
Because an American businessman has probably bought.
Yeah, it's bought. I think,
and it's being produced there, isn't it?
Yeah. So then why? So if Thomas has got an American accent and the rest of them are English, that's weird. I remember watching it, and then the song. Oh, I know off by heart. Go, 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 go on a big, big adventure. Oh, it is. Seriously, I feel like this whole podcast has become Gripe of the Week. Like,
not too
by Ted, but
not too much.
No, yeah.
We did start off with a very positive story at the beginning, so
well, hopefully we'll end on end at one. So, but bring back Thundercats, man. Bring it back. Back it, bring. Our next topic that we agreed to do is life tip of the week, which we've called Win at Life. And it could be a recommendation, it could be a life tip, health hack, it could be anything just to give you a bit of a good suggestion that you might want to try and put into your daily routine or weekly routine or share around. And you've got a recommendation this week, I think, Dave.
I do. Now, I'm a foodie, so it's a food recommendation.
Oh, that's surprising, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a food recommendation. And I think me and Hannah went and ate here on our wedding anniversary last year, and it's Miller and Carter Steakhouse. And
I haven't been in one.
Oh, it's delicious. So there's other big ones. So I don't know if I want to say the other big one I've been to, because the other big one isn't bad. It's not bad.
You can say the other big one. We haven't been paid to plug these places. So.
No, we haven't, but I don't want to put people off going to the other one because I'm saying Miller and Carter is so good. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
The other ones is a well-known one and it's very good, but Miller and Carter, as long as I say it is delicious.
So if you are a meat frenzied person, it is the place to go. Is it just steaks?
No, they do. Obviously, like these steakhouses now do other stuff, don't they? It's got burgers and other stuff as well. But for me, because it's a steakhouse, if you're going to go there, you get a steak. And I think I had one of I think it was the tomahawk one I had.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's the only other steak that I think was comparable was when I was on holiday in Mexico and I was an Argentinian steakhouse. That was also like on par. Obviously, that's in Mexico, so that's not easily accessible to all. But Miller and Carter, get down there, have one of their steaks, you're not going to be disappointed at all.
Now, is it somewhere where you have to remortgage your home to go into?
Do you know what? I don't know. I don't think it is. I think they price for all. But we actually, when we went, it was during that that COVID thing when they were doing the
eat out, help out something. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was, and that was Millen Carter qualified for it. So we didn't even have to pay full price. It was brilliant.
Nice.
It was brilliant. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing, we went for our wedding anniversary. So I don't think it's something you would do all the time. But if you special occasion, I'd highly recommend. If you're trying to impress a new lady in your life, go there, splash the cash. Lovely.
See, I used to be quite into meat, didn't I?
Yes, you did. I used to get meat sweats.
Yeah, but I do touch on a little bit of meat here and there just because it's hard to avoid it over here a little bit. But I try to go vegetarian wherever I can, and I do replace meat with vegan replacements, which I've sort of narrowed down certain brands to do that. But I do remember like the taste of a good steak, the taste of a good burger. It is good. It is good. And like, I'm vegetarian for the sake of I don't want to bore people, but I had a back injury and I just use the time to go, right, do you know what, I want to just cut some stuff out and just try to use vegetarian. And but yeah, I completely get like the taste of a steak and taste of a burger. It can even if it's a bit charred. I mean, what are you a man? Are you a medium man? Are you a rare?
I'm like a medium rare, so it's got to have a bit of pink, a bit of blood, but no, it can't be like it's just come off the cow type thing. There's people. My brother, he likes it sort of, so like it's still like got a heartbeat in. He likes it. Yeah, he likes it like rare. I can't go that. Yeah, medium rare for me.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I've got a life tip for the week, and it's probably not as tasty as yours, and it's something I think none of us do. Okay. And I saw it on like an Insta reel, and I kind of thought, and I've started to do it because I thought, yeah, I'm quite into like wastage. I don't like wasting stuff.
No.
So my life tip is shower gel bottles.
Mm-hmm.
Right, we squeeze the life out of them
mm-hmm.
to get the last drop, but if we just refilled our bottles up when we couldn't get any more out, you're going to get another 3, 4, 5 washes out of them because you've literally just made just a little bit more soapy liquid.
So you're talking about opening the lid up and pouring water in and giving it a bit of a shake, yeah?
Yeah, exactly that. I mean, do you do that?
I think I have done in the past, but it's not something I do all the time.
But that's what I mean. Like something so simple, and it would just make sure you've used every ounce of your shower gel, and it would just cut down a little bit more money, get more washes in, and it's something I've started doing because I'm just like it's things like you can even like transition that over to like mayonnaise. If you've got a squeezy mayonnaise and you try to get as much as you can out of it, a lot of people will just throw the bottle, but cut it up, scoop it out, put it into a little container, put the lid on. You've got mayonnaise. You've utilized the whole tub, and I think we've got people got to start to do that as more regular thing. My wife will probably moan at me a lot to be on her, but I'm quite into like turning like switches off, just because obviously like the electricity and stuff, and also safety around my little boy and that as well. But I don't find. So I try to find every little thing that just helps and that we can do easy. And obviously screwing your cap off your shower gel, filling up with water as you're in the shower, putting it back on, you've got another 4 or 5 washes. And I just find that something so simple. And
no, it is. And that leads me to a thing I've always thought about because obviously I'm very pro sort of like for the planet in terms of like single-use plastics and sort of recycling and stuff. So that obviously helps with that. But I've always thought, so there's this new thing in that I noticed in Tesco's last year where they're basically, so cleaning products, they're selling empty bottles. So they sell empty bottles, this brand, and basically what you do is you buy like a little sachet. And what you do is you put the sachet into the bottle and then you put warm water and the sachet dissolves and then you've got your cleaning liquid. And then what you do is once you finish all the cleaning liquid, you just go back to Tesco's and you buy the sachet again. So you're reusing the bottle over and over.
And what's the sachet made out of? What, like,
so it's like, you know, it's like the stuff like it's like a little plastic capsule like you put for in your washing machine.
Okay.
So it dissolves in and then becomes the cleaning liquid. It dissolves within it. So, and I've always thought stuff like that supermarkets should do that. So supermarkets should really you should go in with a bottle and then be able to dispense whatever you need into the bottle. And then you're just paying for the liquid, and then you just bring back the bottle every single time. But that's very clever, that little disposable capsule that goes within the container. Because I mean, stuff like here you go, I'm properly waffling now. But cereal, it's in a cardboard box, but then you've got plastic inside. I'm sure obviously the plastic is to keep the cereal sort of like fresh or whatever, but does it really need two? Does it need the cardboard and whatever? Could you just go and fill up something in Tesco's and then just pay for like the weight of it rather than all this packaging?
See, there is independent places that do that, isn't there? I mean, there's a place in a town called Banbridge near me that I've gone past, and they do reduce, reuse. Reduce, reuse. What's the other one? Reduce, reuse, recycle. That's it. 3 R's. And I think in there you can go in with tubs and just do, and fill up your own stuff. And that independent shops do that. They're a bit far and few in between. I bet you probably find them a lot more in London, more urban areas. But the question I'll put to you then is, why don't Tesco, why don't Sainsbury's do that? Why aren't they doing that?
I think as they're selling, obviously they're a supermarket and they're selling other brands. So they've got to be, if Kellogg's, Dairy, Cadbury's, whoever, they're going, here's our product. Tesco's are basically selling the product as it's given to them. And I always feel that people, like you're doing like the small thing of trying to make your washing shampoo and stuff go further by putting the water in and stuff. But for the general population want quick and easy. So unless there is sort of like a government change or Tesco's change something, unless someone big and there's big change at the top, the rest of the people that are busy with their day-to-day lives, they haven't got time to be thinking about that stuff. People have their own problems and rah-de-rah-de-rah. And whether even though it's good to try and be better and do whatever, sometimes you just need the person at the top to do it, and then the rest will kind of follow. It's got to be easy for the general population, I think, and then they would just go in line and follow. If this is like, if Tesco go, this is the only way you can buy the food, you got to bring your own containers, like the plastic bags. They got rid of plastic bags, and now people quite happily don't even think about taking their own bag now to do their own shopping.
I mean, I also thought, obviously you've got companies that make this plastic packaging. And I bet they have big contracts and deals with these manufacturers, food manufacturers especially. And if all of a sudden these food companies go, right, don't want your plastic package anymore because we're going to go eco-friendly, they're going to obviously have to buy themselves out of these contracts, or they're not going to make these plastic companies happy. I think there's a lot more business logistical and issues and restrictions that will probably stop a lot of these companies from doing that, really. And like you said, though, and if you're a supermarket and you've got so many different brands, that's a lot of chefs in the kitchen, isn't it? And then you got things like, so we do our clicking, we get a home delivery, just because I find walking around a store for like hour and a half, 2 hours picking your stuff, I'd rather someone else do it. And again, save fuel, all that stuff. I doubt they would. I doubt you could. I doubt you could do that. If how would that work? Would they have their own tub and give me a tub of cereal? If I said, right, give me a tub of cornflakes or something, and would people be happy? Someone else pouring their cereal in it. There's a few things that I bet people would probably rather do themselves, like pick their own fruit and because like obviously our parents and stuff like that used to go to grocers and grocery stores and with paper bags.
Yep.
Their fruit and stuff, and now you get like my little boy loves to get the oranges out of the shop, and oranges have skin on them. They don't need to be put in a bag. And the amount of times I've had to say to the cashier, and they've started to put it into one of those little cling film plastic bags. And I'm like, no, don't worry, just put it straight into the back, like our bag for life. Don't worry about that. Why are they doing that? I mean, if it's something like messy, maybe I get it. But yeah, like it's a bit of logic, really, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, that my life tip was kind of sort of highlighted the bit of a plastic issue, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, that's turned into a bit of a thought-provoking one.
Yeah, I know. All right, only a few more topics left. We're probably waffling, but that's kind. And if you're still with us, thanks for joining us. Thanks for being with us. And again, that's a shout out to our wives, who probably the ones listening. Our next topic is called Instant Replay. It is a sporting moment in history. Now, being big sporting fans, both ourselves, we have a lot to look back on personally and just that we've seen on TV or whatever. But I remember actually writing down a whole list of sporting events I've been to, and I've been to so many. It's probably similar to you. So it'd be quite a good, interesting topic to look into. Do you want to share your instant replay that you would love to replay?
I will go with mine. So mine's actually, you're probably
F1. Is it F1?
It's not F1 and it's not rugby. It's not F1 or rugby, actually.
Cricket.
Definitely not cricket. I couldn't tell you anything about cricket. It's from 2009. It's the World Athletic Championships in Berlin.
Oh.
So what happened in 2009 then, you're asking? Usain Bolt set both his world records for the 100 and 200 meters.
Wow.
And
can I guess the times?
I have the times.
Can I guess them?
Yeah, go on to 100 meters first.
Was that 9.58?
It was.
Yes.
200?
Oh, was it 19.79?
No, it's easier than that.
Was it 19.5?
No, it's easy. It's easy to remember.
Well, it weren't 19 flat.
1919.
Was it 19? Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And I just had to bring it back because what he did for athletics for like a generation is like, you've had people set obviously world records and stuff before, but how he could switch from obviously just before the gun was going, he was entertaining. Obviously, I think it was the London Olympics where he was high-fiving and like the people that take their warm-up clothes off the track, he jokes around, laughs with them, and then literally just before the race, he's in the zone just like that. And a lot of them, he had like there's other people now that try and copy him and do that whole personality thing where I think they're just doing it because they want to kind of be obviously maybe the next Usain Bolt or whatever, but he's so genuine. He seems like such a genuine guy, and that was just him and his personality. And look how much he achieved. I wish I should have made a note of how many golds and stuff, but I think he got golds in all the Olympics, and it was only that last one when he had that injury in the relay that he pulled up with that didn't have a gold in the relay for Jamaica.
Was that Rio 2016? Was that his last one?
It was the last one. And then he still I think I read somewhere that he was not going to do that one, but I think it was Tyson Gay in America. Yeah. The American one. He was like, oh yeah, I'll beat him this year. And then he was like, he heard that and was like, okay, I'm not retiring. And he beat him again just to prove him wrong.
And those records still stand, don't they?
They do.
Do you think they'll ever be beaten?
Well, people probably thought that about the last record, and there's got to be a point. Obviously, if you believe, it depends what you believe in. Obviously, if you believe that we evolve from primates and that kind of thing, and people evolve and they get stronger and stuff, it's like, where will we be able to evolve and get stronger and faster and bigger and stuff than he was? Well, is it a fact that the training that they now do and everything they know about sports science was better, and that's why he was able to achieve those times? Are we going to get even better at sports science in the future? We probably will, but will that mean an athlete can beat those times? Who knows?
Or will they be beaten because of drugs? Will we have another drug scandal in athletics, and it will come out that the next world record, it can only be smashed through an additional help?
So the thing is, the drugs one's an interesting one, isn't it, really? Because obviously there's new drugs all the time. So then the tests then have to catch up.
Yeah.
It's a case of, isn't it, sometimes that new tests become available and they test old supplies from years ago. And it's like, oh, that person had that drug years ago, but we've only just got a test for it. And then they get stripped of stuff.
I remember when I did A-level P, we had a teacher. She was brilliant. Are we allowed to name names on here?
I think so.
I remember her name. Her name was Carol Gordon, I think her name was. Mm-hmm. She was brilliant. I really liked her. I really liked her lessons. And she made a really good question. She said, like, would people like to see people smash world records even though they're on drugs? Because people like to see things being broken. People like to see human limit being pushed. And if that meant everyone would be on drugs, would people be happy to watch that? Or would you have a separate category where everyone can take whatever drugs they kind of wanted?
I think that would be mad. I think there should be, I think if they did it, I don't think you could just have a drugs one. I think, you'd need like the normal Olympics and then the drug Olympics.
The drug Olympics.
Yeah.
Get the ravers come out and do the hammer or something like that, just high up on ecstasy and stuff like that.
That would be, would they have to test to make sure you're on drugs to allow you in?
I don't know, because you probably get
a drug test to make sure you actually drug. No, you can't compete if you're clean.
Yeah, you get some athletes snorting cocaine on the side just to do like curling in the Winter Olympics or something like that. Is that ice you're snorting? No, it's coke. He was freak of nature, like all respectful, but freak of nature when it comes to sport. Like his stride was unreal, wasn't it? He had because his height, he had such a long stride, but everyone was 2 steps to his one to try and catch up. Yeah. But he never had a great, from standing start, he was never great because of his stride.
Yes. It took him a while. They were always in front of him, weren't they?
Yes, he was always just behind the leader, like Tyson Gay, and it was Johan Blake.
Yeah. This fellow Jamaican.
There was a few English guys as well. But but then all of a sudden it was just like someone had hit Nos and he would just literally fly through.
Yeah. There's always that iconic race where he was letting up like meters before the end, looking round and already celebrating because he was that far in front.
And I think actually he smashed the world record that race, and he let up. Yeah, that was one of his world record smashes. And all the commentators were going, so he could even go quicker if he actually just took it seriously.
And
that
he
is
did.
Ridiculous.
And he did. The football career didn't work out for him, but he tried.
No, that was never going to work out.
So what's your instant replay then?
Well, it is F1.
Oh,
it is F1. And me and my wife have been watching Drive to Survive. It is good. And I'm still pretty peed off with the way it ended last season.
No, I can't talk about it.
Yeah, we won't talk about that. We'll be here forever. So, and I was chatting, and I was sort of like telling my wife where I was when Lewis Hamilton won his first championship back in 2008. And like people were saying that the end of last season was like drama. I still don't think it compares with that 2008 drama of that last race. Do you remember it?
That was Brazil, wasn't it?
Yeah.
and I think it was raining, and it was literally down to the last corner.
Yeah.
Where it was Adrian Sittel went wide or slipped or whatever. Hamilton went past. So I think Massa, it was against Massa, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it wasn't Suttil, it was Glock, Timo Glock. It was Timo Glock, and I believe in a Toyota, I believe.
I thought it was
it was. Oh, look, you're going to argue. I believe it was Glock. Mass had won, so he done his bit. All the Ferrari, so like the whole race was just a bit, it wasn't like crash happy or anything, but it was a lot of drama where Hamilton needed to finish, I think, fifth or sixth or something to get enough points.
Exactly, yeah.
And Hamilton needed to place fifth or sixth, I can't remember, and he was just outside that, going to last corner, like you said. Mass had won. Ferrari pit crew went crazy. His dad was on the screen. They thought, Hamilton, he's not got enough points.
Yeah.
Mass has gone crazy. And then the last corner, he's overtaken Glock or Suttil. Glock. And he's come through and he's got enough points. And then I just remember the McLaren pit crew go crazy. And then the camera switches to Ferrari crew. And then a couple of engineers tap everyone on the screens to watch. And they've all just stopped, because they've realised Hamilton has got his place in and has won his first F1 championship. I thought, I shouted. I was upstairs in my bedroom at the time, and I was like screaming. I was like, my mum and dad was wondering what's going on. And also because the year before was his rookie year, 2007, and he could have won that. He lost that by a point, I believe.
Yeah, and he made Alonso, who was a two-time world champion, but silly in the same car.
Yeah.
Not silly, but obviously...
Oh, just on par, wasn't he? And I remember also the penultimate race of that 2007, he ditched the car into the gravel pit, coming into the pit lane in the Shanghai Grand Prix. And if he had just finished that race in the points, he would have won. He would have won the championship. But he didn't. I don't know. I can't remember what happened to the car, but he just went into the gravel trap in the pit lane, and he couldn't get it going again. And that was it. And I thought,
thanks to the internet, I've just done a quick Google search, and you are correct. It was Timo Glock he overtook in the Toyota.
I did do my research beforehand anyway. Yeah, so yeah.
I could have sworn it was Adrian Sittel, because there was, maybe he overtook Adrian Sittel some time before, because I remember there was him. Lewis and Adrian Sittel used to be good friends. They had a falling out over a legal case, but they used to be good friends. And I'm sure that there was talk after the race that Sittel let him through because he was.
No, you're right. And I think I think that was applied to Glock, because they used to be go-karting mates or something like that. And then they came up through the ranks, and they fought, and the Ferrari sort of claimed that he let them by or something like that. But I mean, whatever.
That's where I'm getting that one from anyway.
I mean, you can argue the same case against Verstappen from last year, but I'm not going to go through that because I'm still pretty peed off of it.
We don't like him.
But yeah, so there's my instant replay, mate. That was I thought that was more dramatic, but yeah. So yeah, look up on YouTube. Have a look on the 2008 Lewis Chamberlain first championship win, and that's my instant replay.
Lovely. So then. This is a mouthful, this one. It's you said, she said, he said, they said, we said, which is quote of the week. So you can go on this one first.
All right, well, so this is your topic idea actually about the quote of the week. It's quite good because it could be anything. It could be from a film, book, could be something you said, could be from scripture, could be from music, could be anything actually. I could have stitched this up here because I have actually a special mention to a quote that I used to know off by heart. It was the Al Pacino speech in Any Given Sunday.
That's a long one though.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that because I used to love that. It
is good.
Yeah. Any Given Sunday, great film. And
motivational.
Just that speech. I used to have a CD with it recorded on, and I used to play it. When I used to go to football, I used to have a little football CD of all the tracks, and that used to be the first one. So I used to listen to that before I go to football. So it was quite funny. But no, mine's quite a very wise quote, and a lot of people think the Buddha said it. It's come from the Buddhist scripture,
Mhm.
It wasn't. It was actually an interpretation of someone called Jack Cornfield. He was a Buddhist practitioner, and he read this in the Buddhist teachings, and he basically is what his quote was. And the quote is, "The trouble is, you think you have time." I see your face there, Dave. You just look very, very. There's an Insta video viral that people use. You know, there's voiceover thing for the reels, and it's a bit of there's a longer version of it. I couldn't find it, but I found that really quite good to approach everything. Really, you know, don't wait on things. If you've got an opportunity, yeah, get it going, and no one else is going to help you for it. If you've got an idea, like you said in the podcast, we both had ideas and stuff. Act upon it, and don't. You probably don't have time. I mean, like, sounds a bit morbid. Life could end tomorrow. You know what I mean? Or something might happen next week that might stop you from doing this. So, yeah, you know, don't think you have all the time in the world. Get it done, man. Yeah, get it done.
No, I think it's a good way of looking at it. I think some people, to expand that, I think some people sometimes I saw something probably on a reel or something that people always possibly looking for the right time, like when the sun's out, but
yeah,
most of the time there isn't a good time. You just need to go and do it and
yeah,
start on it today, because yes, you could live until you're 80, 90, but if you start it now, if it's going to take stuff is going to take time to build or whatever, start it now, because over time it will just progress and get better.
yeah. No, definitely. I mean, I try approach that of everything. I try approach every opportunity. I just try and just take it, hopefully, and try to put that onto my little boy as well. You know, just try everything you can, because one day you won't get time to do it. You know?
No,
so,
everything's not going to work. Everything's not going to work out, and you just need to try these things. And if it does, brilliant. If it doesn't, you move on.
Yeah, yeah. So there's my quote of the week to apply.
I've gone quite deep as well.
Oh,
I've gone quite deep on this one as well. So this is kind of a quote, or I think it's more sort of like a Chinese like proverb type thing. I don't know. I think proverbs are a bit smaller, but have you ever heard of the story of the Chinese farmer?
no.
Okay. So the Chinese farmer, once upon a time, the Chinese farmer, his horse ran away. That evening, the neighbours came over to commiserate him, and they said, "Oh, well, sorry, your horse ran away. That's terrible." And he said, "Maybe." Then the next day, his horse came back with 7 wild horses. The neighbours came over that evening and said, "That's great news." Again, he said, "Maybe." The next day, his son took one of the wild horses out and he broke his leg. Or the neighbours again came over and said, "That's terrible." Again, he said, "Maybe." The next day, the conscription officer for the army came around. So they're trying to find people to join the army, where it's like you have to go. Because the boy had broken his leg, they passed over him. And again, the neighbours came around and said, "Isn't that great news?" And he said, "Maybe."
What did he say? He said maybe.
He said, "Maybe." So basically what that means is, so he had terrible he had terrible stuff happen, and he had good stuff happen, but every time he said maybe, because in any point in time you don't know whether something good or something bad over a longer period of time, is it going to be good or bad? Something bad today might not be bad tomorrow.
It's a nice way of looking at it. But listening to that has kind of peed me off, because if I lived with a guy like that and I said, "Richard, fancy a cup of tea?" and he goes, "Maybe," I'd be like, "Look, it's a yes or no question, mate. You know, like, he sounds like someone that sits on the fence. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, do you want some chips with that? Maybe. Well, how is that going to help me? So he's a maybe guy.
He's a maybe guy. I think he's just
I'm picking, but yeah.
You are. He's just trying to show, that something bad happened today, but it turned out to be good the next day. But then something good that happened today was bad tomorrow. So you got to take every day as it comes, and
rough with the smooth a little bit.
Exactly. You don't know what that's going to mean for your future. And that's my quote.
The maybe guy. The maybe guy. Nice. So I had a quote. You had a novel.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So our penultimate topic of the week is one that we call Mortal Kombat, which is a nod to the retro game, sick game, by the way. Finish him. Film, by the way, not very good, by the way. If you've seen it,
I think I might have, and it wasn't very good.
it's on Sky Cinema. There's a remake. You see the remake of it?
Oh no, I think I might have seen the original.
Well, the remake, parts of it's not too bad. Characters, rubbish. Story, rubbish. Anyway, that's a gripe for another week. But no, this topic is we will pit two things against each other and to see which one would come out on top. It could be a fight or it could just be an argument or debate. Do you want to share your Mortal Kombat of the week, Dave?
Okay, so you've got to think what would win. What's going to win out of Wolverine from X-Men versus the T1000 Liquid Terminator? What are you saying?
Okay, right. So on one hand, Wolverine, he's got this indestructible metal.
Yep.
But he bleeds.
Yep.
He does a human heart underneath. I mean, he heals.
He heals.
Yes. But he'll still die. I've seen Logan. All right. Okay. Mm-hmm. He can still get at him. Mm-hmm. The T1000 is that T1000 Arnold Schwarzenegger?
No, it's the liquid one.
The one okay, so the villain in Judgment Day, which is just liquid metal, and the only way to basically beat him is to melt him. Mate, that's hands down T1000.
Was going to win.
Yeah. Like, he can misshape himself any way forward. I mean, if Wolverine went and sliced him up with his blades, it'll just go through him. He's liquid metal. He'll just go through him. And if you've seen Judgment Day, he can like stretch out his arm into like a metal spear and pierce Wolverine. That's an easy one, I feel, Dave.
Do you?
Yeah.
I thought it would be because obviously he can heal. Because I thought if he could just keep if Wolverine keeps healing, and they're fighting, he can come this way. All he needs to do is get into Volcano and throw the T1000 in the volcano, and he's done.
But he heals. But if you chop off his arm, he ain't going to grow a new arm, though, is he?
Yeah, but he can't chop off his arm because he's got that whatever the bone. Bones, isn't he? So his arm's not not coming off.
But his organs aren't metal. So if his
organs aren't, but obviously think where your organs are, they're all protected by rib cages and stuff.
Okay, well, it pierces him in the stomach. Pierces him in the head. Oh no, obviously if he's got a metal head or something. Yeah,
well, they should have just done piercing in the stomach then in X-Men, and X-Men would have been a lot shorter, wouldn't it?
Yeah, true.
Because doesn't in the X-Men films he gets shot and then the bullet just. I swear he's been shot in the head as well. But
he
just heals.
Then
the other one that you said, obviously, because he's a liquid T1000, the other way of looking at it is he can go liquid and he can go in his mouth and just fill his lungs.
And what? So what? So Wolverine is at a bar and he's gone, barman, give me a shot. Oh, what's this? Oh, it's some new stuff on the menu. Oh, okay. And he drinks a little bit of metal shot and thinking, oh, it's like, a nice bit of Jaeger bomb or something. And it's actually the T1000 has gone into his system and just basically just torn him apart.
Well, no, because like you said, the T1000 can be a shapeshifter. So it could be a lovely looking lady. You could give her a kiss, and while he's giving her a kiss, a bit like Transformers,
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And then go through into his mouth that way.
So are you saying that the T1000 would win this battle?
I think, yeah, on probability, I think the T1000 would do it.
Okay. All right. I agree with you. I don't think Wolverine's got enough. I think Wolverine's too human to beat a futuristic robot like that.
Yeah. Agreed.
My Mortal Kombat is much, much closer.
Oh.
So my Mortal Kombat is what would win, a hamster or a gerbil?
I don't think they'd be a winner. They're the same thing, aren't they?
They are not the same thing. I have researched this, and I have got some facts and sort of physical attributes to give you. Right?
Hamster and a gerbil.
Yeah, who's going to win, hamster or gerbil?
They're the same. No one knows. If you like, like like you see on TV shows when the kid has to bring home the pet from school.
Yeah.
I think if you brought home a gerbil when it died and the parent replaced it with a hamster and took it back, they wouldn't even know the difference.
Well, to the untrained eye, you might be right, but
go on then, tell me what the differences are.
So,
the facts. Spending his time looking up facts on gerbils.
Well, yeah, I did do a bit of research because you are right, and some people might not actually know the difference. But gerbils tend to be bigger in size, and they have a longer tail. They have 4-inch tail compared to a hamster, which has a 1-inch tail. Now, this is where it gets interesting because when would this Mortal Kombat take place? Because a hamster is nocturnal, right? So if the fight is at night, the hamster is going to kill this gerbil in its sleep, right? And it can sneak around, all right? It's got, I'm not saying it's got night vision, but it's probably going to be better at night. But hamsters are more of a loner, and the gerbils would bring backup. They
bring backup.
They do. They
bring their posse.
They do. They're more of a community animal. So if it needed backup, the gerbils would have some posse to bring along.
But now what you're saying is basically it's an unfair fight. Now it's like a gang brutality.
Well, Mortal Kombat just goes where it needs to be fair. And the other thing I came up with is the hamsters have shorter legs. Now, I don't know if that's a good thing or a long thing. Obviously, if the hamster went to kick the gerbil, it wouldn't have good range, but having shorter legs might be better for footwork. They might be able to avoid, counterattacks by the gerbils. So there's pros and cons here, mate. They're not the same animal.
No, okay.
So
okay.
What would you come down to?
I've listened to your pros and cons, and what I'm going to go for is which was the bigger one?
Gerbils tend to be bigger.
And they've got a 4-inch tail.
Yes.
I'm going gerbil then, because they have, think of it in boxing terms, they have the longer reach, they're the bigger one, they can pressurize them, they can get them in the ring, get them up on the ropes, and then they've got a long tail, whip, use that as a whip, take the hamster's legs from under it. I think I'm gerbiled all day now.
See, I'm going to go hamster just to be awkward, and also because if you look by history, a lot of serial killers are loners. They get a bit crazy. So would you... and hamsters are nocturnal. So would you want to meet a lonely, nutty hamster at night? You wouldn't.
If I had a pet gerbil, I would, because it's bigger.
But your pet gerbil would be asleep at night, mate. The hamster would slit its throat with with some straw or something. It would muller it.
I mean, boxing matches normally happen at night, don't they?
Exactly. Your gerbil will be falling asleep in the corner, and my hamster will be just pummel it in it.
It's pretty much like us, though. Really, I think you are more nocturnal than I am.
I come alive at night. Yeah. I mean, this is way past your bedtime, to be fair.
Big time.
Right. Okay. Well, I think that's a 50-50.
Yeah, we agree on one. The other one's a 50-50.
Okay. So lean on to our final topic of our podcast, and I'm sorry if it's been quite long, but we do waffle on, and this is called the Waffle Calf Podcast, isn't it, Dave?
It is. So we aim to keep to what we've called it.
What, an hour, or the actual name?
No, the name. The
yes.
Waffle.
Yes. And I think in the future we might actually invest in some waffles to eat as we go along. So our final topic is: would you rather? Now, this could get actually a bit dangerous, because when we played Would You Rather on Nights Out years and years ago, it got quite crude. A lot of very sickening and disgusting Would You Rather situations, which we probably won't air because we probably won't be able to air, but probably won't be able to publish it, would we, Dave?
Probably not.
Agreed. So Would You Rather, we are going to give you some options, and we're then going to ask you to vote on our social media pages, aren't we?
Yeah.
So at the end of the next week, we would like a audience vote. We're going to run it over the whole week, so we won't know what the outcome is until we record the podcast again. And we've gone with Dave's selection this week, haven't we, Dave?
We have. So it's, would you rather have telekinesis, which is the ability to move things with your mind, or would you rather have telepathy, the ability to read minds? So move things with your mind, or read things with your mind, or read other people's minds.
That's so cool.
What would you go for?
So the thing is, I watched Looper. I'm a bit of a film buff. I watched Looper last night, and that's got a bit of a telekinesis aspect to it, moving things, reading minds or moving things.
I know what mine would be.
Go on, tell me yours.
Move things. There's no way in hell. Imagine you're walking down the road and every person you see, they look at you and you can hear what they're thinking about you. That would drive me nuts.
Wouldn't that not be good? Would that not be good, like for job interviews and stuff, when like you can gauge what they're thinking about you, and you could use that to turn their impressions of you. Like they could have like their questions in their head and going, oh, should we ask about him? You know, it could be in job interview going, oh, in their mind they could be thinking, oh, should we ask about his sort of like childhood experience? And you could all go, I just want to speak about my childhood experience. And it'd be like, wow, like he's really on the wavelength, really on the ball. So like it could work in certain situations.
I think in certain situations, yeah. But imagine you're, I don't know, in bed with a lady friend, and you're having the time of your life, and you can just think, and they're in their head going, "Wow, this is rubbish. When's this going to be over?"
And she's replaying EastEnders Omnibus.
Exactly. I don't think there's times where I think it would be such a dangerous thing. I think, as you said, I think you could work it to your advantage in certain situations, but I think in other situations, I think you walk around so depressed at times because you might think you're this great person, this is that and the other, and people that potentially you think might be your mate or whatever, and they're really in their head being completely the opposite way. So, and I'm quite lazy.
You don't read my mind, Dave.
Well, yeah, this is it. Well, no, I think your mind's a dangerous place, but I'm quite lazy as well. So I think if I'm sitting on the sofa and there's a glass of water on the other side or whatever, and I can just move that over to my hand, I think that's brilliant. So I'm going to move things. It sounds like you're on the other side, though. I
don't know. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. Ask me again next week.
Okay. Well, you can see. Well, obviously, we'll have the vote in next week, so we can see if people agree with me, and we can find out. We can give you a whole week to think about what. And
how do they find our polls, Dave?
So yes, so you can vote on. We're going to put the vote up on Twitter, because then it's going to be available for the full 7 days until we record again. And the Twitter handle you were looking for is Waffle Cafe Pod, all one word, no spaces, nothing. So go on there, vote, and we will see if people agree with me or they don't. Yeah,
and leave us a comment of why, actually, or maybe some situations where it would be beneficial to be telepathic or telekinetic. There you go. There's the words for you, mate. They're telepathic and telekinetic. Yeah. Oh, they're nice words to say, actually, aren't they? So,
roll off the tongue, don't they?
Yeah. And that brings us into our first episode of our podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been a waffle, much longer than we anticipated, haven't we, Dave?
A long waffle, but very. I've enjoyed it. I hope everyone's enjoyed it, and I hope everyone comes back for next week.
And when we say everyone, we just say thank you to our wives for listening for 2 hours. Thank you very much. But we will be back with another episode. More topics, some fresh, some new, and do comment in our social media channels, share, like, do what you want, get in touch, subscribe,
follow,
yeah, send us some money, whatever you want, and it's been a pleasure. So I've been Ben,
I've been Dave,
and laters.